Before we start, I want to say that only 1% of you are subscribed. Please subscribe because when we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will post a special video for you. The hum of the galactic trade station Gamma 5 filled the air as Michael Turner, an interstellar botanist, navigated through the bustling crowds. His eyes were drawn to the diverse array of species mingling in the market, each stall bursting with exotic goods from across the universe. As Michael approached a stall adorned with a rare collection of phosphorescent flora, a voice called out in a booming yet melodic tone, "Ah, a connoisseur of the luminous greenery, I see." The speaker was a towering figure, his skin a rich tapestry of iridescent scales that shimmered under the artificial lights of the station. This was Zorax, the ambassador from the planet Zylon. "Indeed," Michael replied, turning with a smile. "These specimens are remarkable. Are they from your world?" "Yes, they are the pride of Zylon's botanical heritage," Zorax replied, puffing his chest slightly. "I am Zorax, by the way, ambassador of the Zylonian collective. Pleased to meet you, ambassador. I'm Michael Turner, a botanist studying intergalactic plant species." Michael extended his hand, a human gesture of greeting that Zorax mimicked clumsily, their hands meeting in an awkward but friendly shake. "I have something that might interest you," Zorax said, gesturing towards a secluded part of his stall. As they walked, a figure detached itself from the shadows, a young Zylonian woman. Her features were unusual by human standards. Large, multifaceted eyes, a lack of hair, and skin that seemed to subtly change color with her mood. "This is my daughter, Zylina," Zorax introduced. "She shares your passion for botany." Zylina nodded, her eyes brightening with curiosity. "Father tells me you are from Earth. I studied Earth's rainforests in my academic modules. Fascinating ecosystems." Michael was taken aback by her fluent galactic common and her knowledge. "Yes, Earth's biodiversity is unique, but I am more intrigued by what I might learn here. Perhaps you could show me some of your planet specimens." "I would like that," Zylina said, her tone earnest. She led Michael to a section of the stall where delicate, glowing plants floated in nutrient-rich orbs. "These are night whispers. They communicate through bioluminescence, as in they actually talk." Michael leaned in closer, his intrigue piqued. In a manner of speaking, Zylina explained, demonstrating by gently shaking one orb, causing the plant inside to emit a series of gentle pulses. They respond to environmental changes and can talk to each other to share resources and warning signals. "Remarkable," Michael murmured, his mind racing with the possibilities of such adaptations. Zorax watched the exchange with a growing smile. "Zylina, perhaps you should consider giving Mr. Turner a tour of our home world. We could arrange a cultural exchange. It would benefit our scientific communities." Zylina looked to Michael, her expression unreadable. "Would you be interested in such an arrangement?" "I would be honored," Michael replied sincerely. Learning directly from the source would be invaluable. "Then it's settled," Zorax declared. "You will be our guest on Zylon. It's not often we have such a keen mind willing to explore our world beyond the commercial facade." As they finalized the details, Michael couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement. This was more than he had hoped for. A chance to delve into a completely new world of botanical study and perhaps make unexpected personal connections in the vast expanse of the galaxy. The journey to Zylon was smoother than Michael had anticipated, with the vastness of space streaking past the viewport of the diplomatic shuttle. Zorax had spared no expense, ensuring their guests experienced the comfort of Zylonian hospitality. As the shuttle descended through the thick, swirling clouds of Zylon, Michael pressed his face against the glass, mesmerized by the sprawling landscapes unfolding below. The planet was a tapestry of vibrant ecosystems, each more alien and intriguing than the last. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Zorax's voice brought Michael back to the cabin. "Our world thrives with life, much like your Earth, though perhaps a bit more colorful." Michael laughed, nodding in agreement. "It's incredible, Ambassador. I've never seen anything like it." As they landed, another figure joined them. He was introduced as Dr. Kalen, a leading Zylonian ecologist. "I've been assigned to assist you during your stay," Kalen said, shaking Michael's hand with a firm grip. "There's much to show you." "Thank you, Dr. Kalen. I'm eager to start exploring," Michael replied, his eyes still fixed on the lush greenery outside. Their first few days were packed with tours of various ecological zones. Michael was particularly fascinated by the harmonic forest, where the trees produce soothing tones when the wind passed through them. "It's part of how the forest maintains its health," Kalen explained. "The sounds deter pests and encourage pollinators." During their explorations, Zylina remained a constant presence, explaining the subtler nuances of her world. Her insights into Zylonian flora were invaluable, and her passion for her planet was infectious. One evening, as they sat watching a sunset that painted the sky in hues unknown on Earth, Zorax joined Michael on the viewing platform. The ambassador's demeanor was unusually solemn. "Michael, I have a proposal for you," Zorax began, his voice carrying a weight that caught Michael off guard. "Our interactions with humanity have always been strictly professional, businesslike, but you have shown a genuine respect and curiosity for our ways." Michael listened intently, sensing the gravity of the moment. "I believe a stronger bond between our species could be fostered through a more personal connection," Zorax continued. "I would like to propose a union, a marriage between you and my daughter, Zylina." Michael was stunned. Marriage? The thought had never crossed his mind, especially not with an alien, despite the fondness he had grown to feel for Zylina. Seeing Michael's hesitation, Zorax quickly added, "Take your time to consider this. It's not just a diplomatic gesture. I believe you and Zylina could learn much from each other, not just as scientists, but as life partners." The proposal hung in the air like the twin moons of Zylon in the twilight sky. Michael needed time to think, to weigh the implications of such a union. He looked over to where Zylina was talking animatedly with Kalen, her laughter carrying across the breeze. "May I discuss this with Zylina first?" Michael asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Of course," Zorax replied, nodding approvingly. "That would be most appropriate." The next day, Michael approached Zylina, who was tending to a delicate vine with luminescent flowers. "Your father made a proposal to me last night," he started, watching her reaction closely. Zylina didn't seem surprised. "I know," she said softly. "I agreed to the suggestion before he presented it to you, but only if you feel comfortable with it. This must be a mutual decision." Michael took a deep breath, looking around at the alien beauty that surrounded him, then back at the woman who had become his guide and friend. "I have many questions," he admitted, "about us, about how this could work." "Then let's find the answers together," Zylina replied, offering him a gentle smile. "Whatever you decide, I hope we can continue to explore, learn, and grow, together or apart." The simplicity of her words, the openness of her offer, made the decision clearer in Michael's mind than he would have expected. Perhaps this was the beginning of a new chapter, not just for his scientific endeavors, but for his life. The preparations for Michael and Zylina's wedding unfolded under the twin suns of Zylon, a blending of both Earth and Zylonian traditions. The botanical gardens of Varellin, famed for their sweeping canopies and ethereal blossoms, were chosen as the venue, symbolizing the union of human and alien flora. As the day approached, Michael found himself involved in a flurry of activities, assisted by Dr. Kalen and a few other Zylonian colleagues who were eager to incorporate Earth customs into the ceremony. "Have you ever worn a Zylonian ceremonial robe, Michael?" Kalen asked, presenting a flowing garment that shimmered with a pattern reminiscent of the night sky. Michael chuckled as he took the robe. "Can't say that I have, but there's a first time for everything." He admired the fabric, noting the careful craftsmanship. "It's beautiful. We've integrated a fiber from the harmonic forest plants. It's traditional for weddings, believed to bring harmony to the union," Kalen explained, helping Michael adjust the fit. As the wedding day dawned, guests from various planets gathered, creating a vibrant mosaic of cultures and species. Michael stood at the altar, his nerves calming as he watched Zylina approach, her own robe a radiant contrast to his, adorned with luminescent flowers that pulsed gently with light. The ceremony was a blend of speeches and traditional vows, with Zorax delivering a moving address about the importance of unity and understanding across cosmic distances. Today is not just a union of two individuals, Zorax proclaimed, his voice resonating through the assembled crowd. It is a testament to the bridges we can build between worlds, the shared curiosity and respect that have brought us to this point. Michael took Zylina's hand, feeling the slight coolness of her skin. Zylina, I came to your world as a stranger, but I stand here now, before you and your people, ready to build a life together, to learn and to grow. In you, I've found not just a partner in science, but in life. Zylina's eyes glimmered, her voice steady and clear. And I, too, promise to walk with you on this journey, to share with you the wonders of my world, and to discover yours. Together, we will explore not just the universe around us, but the possibilities within us. The crowd erupted in applause as they sealed their vows with a customary Zylonian gesture, intertwining their arms and pressing their foreheads together, a symbol of their lives becoming one. The reception that followed was a lively affair, with traditional Zylonian music that thrummed through the air, vibrating softly underfoot. Michael was introduced to a variety of new dances and foods, each more intriguing than the last. Kalen leaned over during the feast, a grin on his face. How are you finding the glimmer wine? It's a bit stronger than what you're used to on Earth, I'd wager. Michael, feeling the warmth of the wine spreading through him, laughed. It's fantastic. Everything today has been beyond anything I could have imagined. As the celebrations continued into the night, Michael and Zylina stole a moment away from their guests, walking through the illuminated paths of the botanical gardens. Today was perfect, Michael said, squeezing her hand. Yes, it was, Zylina agreed, leaning her head against his shoulder. And it's just the beginning. Under the canopy of glowing leaves and starlit sky, they shared a quiet promise of adventure and discovery. The gardens around them a testament to the beauty and diversity they hoped to bring into their shared life. After the celebrations of their union had quieted, Michael began his true adjustment to life on Zylon. The couple moved into a residence within the ecological research sector, a complex surrounded by some of the most exotic flora on the planet. Despite the beauty and intrigue of his new environment, Michael often found himself grappling with the nuances of Zylonian society. One morning, as they sat in their dining area overlooking a garden of bioluminescent vines, Michael shared his frustrations with Zylina. I'm struggling with the communication. Everyone is patient with me. But the nuances, the nonverbal cues, I miss so much. Zylina nodded, understanding. It's not just about learning the language. It's about feeling the language. Maybe you could spend some time with Kalen and the others without me. It might force the issue a bit. That's a good idea, Michael agreed, albeit with some hesitation. Later that day, Michael met with Kalen and another colleague, Dr. Varen, at the community lab. They were working on cataloging the phenomenal expressions of local flora when Kalen decided to turn the task into a teaching moment. See here, Michael, Kalen said, holding up a delicate, spiral frond plant. This species communicates distress through a sudden change in its frond curling. Watch. He simulated a minor threat, and the plant reacted almost imperceptibly to Michael's untrained eye. Varen chuckled softly. It takes a while to get it. We feel it more than we see it. As the days progressed, Michael began to immerse himself more deeply in his colleagues' world. They spent hours in the lab and field, and evenings were often filled with visits to local community centers, where Michael was introduced to Zylonian art and music. During one such outing, a local artist explained their use of natural pigments, which changed colors based on the viewer's mood. It's an interactive art form, the artist explained. It helps in understanding oneself and others. Michael attempted to engage more openly, sharing tales of Earth's art forms. We have something similar with mood rings, though they're not nearly as sophisticated. The artist was fascinated. You must bring some examples next time. We cherish learning about alien cultures. As Michael continued his cultural education, he also began to teach. He organized a small exhibit of earth plants, explaining their biological and cultural significance. The event was well attended, sparking lively discussions and exchanges of ideas. One evening, after the exhibit, Dr. Varen approached Michael. "You've done well, adapting and teaching. How do you feel?" "It's been challenging but rewarding," Michael admitted. "I think I'm finally beginning to understand your ways, not just intellectually, but emotionally." "That's the spirit," Varen replied with a smile. "It's about sharing, learning, and adapting. We're all richer for it." Michael felt a profound sense of accomplishment. Though the cultural barriers were high, his efforts to surmount them had brought a sense of camaraderie and respect among his peers. Back at home, Zylina greeted him with a warm smile. "I heard the exhibit was a success." "It was," Michael confirmed, wrapping his arms around her. "And I feel closer to your world than ever before." "That's all I could have hoped for," Zylina said, her eyes shining with joy. They stood together, looking out at the twilight hues of the garden, feeling the pulse of Zylon around them, their shared journey into each other's worlds forging a stronger bond than either had anticipated. As Michael and Zylina's life together on Zylon deepened, so did their mutual understanding and respect. One clear evening, the couple decided to visit one of the planet's most revered natural wonders, the luminous lagoon. The lagoon was famous for its nightly display of bioluminescent algae, which lit up the water in dazzling blues and greens. "Wait until you see it at night," Zylina said, her excitement palpable as they prepared for their outing. "It's like watching the stars swim." "That sounds incredible," Michael replied, gathering their things. He had come to cherish these explorations with Zylina, each one unveiling more of the beautiful complexity of her world. Upon arrival, they found the lagoon awash with light, the water glowing softly under the moonlight. They boarded a small boat, rowing gently into the middle of the lagoon. The water around their oars sparkled with each stroke. "It's magical," Michael whispered, his voice filled with awe. Zylina smiled, leaning closer to him. "It reacts to motion, so any movement in the water stimulates the glow." As they floated in silence, Michael began to reflect on their relationship. It was here, amidst the quiet beauty of Zylon's nature, that he felt most connected to her. He turned to Zylina, reaching out to take her hand. "Zylina, being here with you, I feel like I'm truly part of your world now." Zylina's expression softened, her eyes reflecting the lagoon's luminescence. "And I have never felt closer to someone who was once a stranger from another world." Their conversation drifted into a comfortable silence, each soaking in the serene environment. As the boat drifted, their hands remained locked, a silent acknowledgement of their growing bond. Suddenly, Michael leaned forward, a spontaneous decision guiding him. "Zylina, may I?" He gestured towards her face, asking for permission in their intimate moment. She nodded, her heart beating faster. Michael leaned in and kissed her gently. The kiss was soft, exploratory, and filled with the emotion that had been building between them. As they pulled away, they both felt a rush of feelings, mixed with the thrill of the kiss and the beauty surrounding them. "Michael," Zylina started, her voice just above a whisper. "This is new for me. Us." "Me too," Michael admitted. "But it feels right, doesn't it?" "Yes, very right," she agreed, her hand squeezing his a little tighter. They continued to row through the lagoon, now sharing not just a physical space, but something deeply emotional that had shifted between them. After some time, they reached a secluded bank, dotted with flowering plants that cast a soft glow. "Let's stop here for a bit," suggested Zylina. They secured the boat and sat on the bank, surrounded by the gentle lights of the flora. Michael took Zylina's hand again, this time with a confident affection. They talked about their hopes, their dreams, and what the future might hold for them in this shared space between their cultures. As the night deepened, they shared more kisses, each one more confident and affirming than the last. The touches were tender, respectful, and filled with the mutual curiosity and admiration they had for each other. Eventually, they lay back, watching the stars above and the glowing lagoon around them, their bodies close, sharing warmth in the cool night air. "This night," Zylena murmured, "I'll remember forever." "Me too," Michael agreed, his voice filled with contentment. "There's nowhere else I'd rather be." Their bond, sealed under the celestial light of Zylon's night sky and the luminescent embrace of the lagoon, was a profound step in their journey together, an unexpected but cherished development in their interstellar marriage. Months had passed since Michael and Zylena's marriage, and their life together had settled into a comfortable rhythm of shared experiences and discoveries. However, one evening, as they were enjoying a quiet dinner at home, Zorax arrived unexpectedly, looking more solemn than usual. "Michael, Zylena," he began, pausing to gather his thoughts, which immediately signaled to them the seriousness of the conversation to come. "I have something important to discuss with you both." "What is it, Father?" Zylena asked, concern evident in her voice as she noticed the unusual gravity in his demeanor. "It's about my health," Zorax confessed, his tone grave. "The doctors have given me a prognosis, and it seems I have less time than I hoped. There are matters we need to address, about the inheritance of my estates and responsibilities." Michael and Zylena exchanged a worried glance, both moving to sit closer to Zorax, offering their support. "Father, whatever you need, we're here," Zylena assured him, taking his hand. Zorax nodded appreciatively. "Thank you, my dear." "Michael, when I proposed your union with Zylena, it was not just about personal connection, but also about continuity and legacy. I want to discuss the botanical archives and the lands that sustain them. I intend to pass them on to you." Michael was taken aback. "Me? But, Zorax, I'm honored. Yet wouldn't someone from your own world be better suited?" Zorax shook his head. "No, Michael. I've observed your passion and respect for our world's botany. You see beyond the mere aesthetic. You understand the ecological and cultural significance. I trust you will continue my work and expand it with your unique perspective. But I would need guidance," Michael responded, feeling the weight of the responsibility. "And you shall have it," Zorax assured. "Kalen will assist you. He's been my advisor for many years and knows my work as well as I do." Kalen, who had been quietly standing by the doorway, stepped forward, nodding in agreement. "It would be my honor to help guide you, Michael. Together, we can ensure Zorax's legacy not only survives but thrives." Over the next few weeks, Zorax, with Michael and Kalen's help, began the process of transferring knowledge and legal ownership of the botanical lands and archives. They spent long hours in the archives, Zorax sharing stories behind each collection, his hopes for their future, and his trust in Michael's stewardship. One afternoon, as they walked through one of the greenhouses, Zorax stopped beside a rare flowering vine, its blooms vibrant against the green. "This was my first discovery as a young botanist," he reminisced. "It symbolizes the start of my journey. And now it's part of mine," Michael said, deeply moved. "I promise to protect these plants and the knowledge they represent. I will honor your legacy by continuing your work and building bridges between our worlds through these gardens." Zorax smiled, visibly relieved and content with his decision. "I knew I made the right choice." "Thank you, Michael." As the transfer of responsibility neared completion, Michael and Zylena took a walk through the now familiar gardens, reflecting on the changes the inheritance would bring. "It's a huge responsibility," Michael admitted, "but with you and Kalen by my side, I feel ready." Zylena squeezed his hand, supportive and proud. "Together, we'll make this work. This place isn't just about preserving the past. It's about growing a future." The chapter closed on a note of solemnity mixed with optimism as Michael, Zylena, and Zorax looked out over the lush expanse of botanical gardens, the setting sun casting long shadows and bathing the plants in golden light, symbolizing the end of one era and the hopeful beginning of another. The gardens inherited from Zorax had become more than a sanctuary. They were a bridge between worlds, teeming with potential for scientific breakthroughs and intergalactic diplomacy. Michael, now comfortable in his role as the steward of these lands, worked tirelessly alongside Kalen to cultivate and expand the archives. On a crisp morning, as Michael and Kalen inspected a new section they were developing for Earth-native species, Michael shared his vision. "I think integrating Earth's plants into these gardens not only honors Zorax's legacy, but also symbolizes the unity between our worlds." Kalen, always meticulous, nodded in agreement. "It's a fine tribute, and with each new species, we learn something valuable. Have you thought about opening the gardens to researchers from other planets?" "That's exactly my plan," Michael replied, his eyes lighting up with enthusiasm. "I want this to be a center of learning, a place where knowledge is as free-flowing as the water in these streams." As the weeks rolled into months, the botanical gardens flourished, attracting scientists, students, and diplomats from various planets. During one such visit, a delegation from a nearby star system toured the facilities. Michael, alongside Kalen, hosted the group, explaining the significance of each plant species and the ongoing research. Dr. Pelham, one of the visiting scientists, was particularly intrigued by a hybrid species Michael had developed. This hybrid shows traits of both resilience and adaptability. "How did you manage the cross-species fertilization?" Michael smiled, pleased with the interest. "It was tricky. Zylina and I worked closely to replicate the necessary environmental conditions. It's about understanding and replicating the ecological systems from both planets." As the tour continued, the visitors were impressed not only with the botanical diversity, but also with the collaborative atmosphere Michael had fostered. "Your work here," Dr. Pelham observed, "is a testament to what can be achieved when different worlds come together in the spirit of learning and respect." Encouraged by the positive feedback, Michael proposed a conference to further explore the possibilities of interplanetary botanical studies. Kalen was supportive, offering to help organize the event. "We could host it right here in the gardens. There's no better place to discuss plant biology than surrounded by the subjects themselves." With preparations underway, Michael dedicated himself to ensuring the conference would be a success. He reached out to experts across galaxies, inviting them to share their knowledge and explore new horizons in botanical science. The conference day arrived, buzzing with excitement and intellectual fervor. Researchers from various backgrounds presented their findings, engaged in workshops and debated theories. Zylina, proud of Michael's achievements, participated actively, her insights bridging many gaps between differing scientific approaches. In the midst of the conference, Michael took a moment to step back and absorb the scene before him. The mingling of minds, the exchange of ideas, and the lush greenery enveloping them. He felt a deep connection, not only to the land and its plants, but to the larger universe, united by a common quest for knowledge. As the event concluded, many participants approached Michael to express their gratitude. "This has been an eye-opener," one researcher commented. "The diversity of thought, the unity in purpose, it's been inspiring." With the conference hailed as a triumph, Michael and Zylina walked through the now-quiet gardens. "We did it," Michael said, a contented sigh escaping him. "We did," Zylina agreed, her hand finding his. "And we'll continue to do more. The gardens are just the beginning." Their conversation drifted to future projects and dreams, under the starlit sky of Zylon, surrounded by the very embodiments of their shared efforts and aspirations. The gardens, once a testament to Zorax's dedication, had blossomed into a beacon of interstellar collaboration and understanding. In the years that followed the successful conference, the botanical gardens on Zylon had grown into a renowned center for ecological and botanical research. Michael and Zylina, now well-respected in their fields, had seen their lives and careers intertwine with the thriving flora around them. As another serene Zylon morning dawned, Michael walked through the gardens, inspecting a new exhibit they were about to open, dedicated to the adaptive plants of the galaxy. Kalen joined him, clipboard in hand, ready to discuss the day's agenda. "The new signage is up and the interactive displays are functional," Kalen reported, matching Michael's pace. "Excellent," Michael replied, stopping to adjust a small placard. "This exhibit could change the way we understand plant adaptation on a cosmic scale." As they walked, A message chimed from Michael's communicator. It was an invitation to speak at an intergalactic symposium on ecological preservation, a testament to his ongoing impact. "Looks like the gardens have once again opened new doors for us," Michael remarked, showing Kalen the message. "It's no surprise," Kalen responded. "What you and Zylina have created here is exceptional, not just in the scientific community, but as a model for cooperation between species." Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of a small group of students, led by Zylina, who were eager to learn about the new exhibit. Michael's face lit up seeing Zylina in her element, engaging with the next generation of scientists. "Good morning, everyone," Michael greeted them, his tone welcoming. "Today, we're going to look at some of the galaxy's most resilient plants and learn about how they adapt to their environments." As the tour progressed, Michael explained the properties of each species, with Zylina adding anecdotes about their fieldwork. The students listened, rapt with attention, asking insightful questions. After the tour, while the students dispersed into the gardens, Zylina and Michael took a moment to themselves, walking along a secluded path lined with silverleaf ferns. "You were fantastic with them," Michael said, squeezing Zylina's hand. Zylina smiled. "They're bright. They give me hope that our work will continue long after we're gone." As they walked, they discussed plans for further expanding the gardens. "I was thinking we could start a fellowship program," Michael suggested. "Bring in researchers from all over the galaxy to study here." "I love that idea," Zylina agreed enthusiastically. "Let's draft a proposal this weekend. We can outline the objectives and the resources we'll need." Their conversation was full of plans and possibilities, the kind of dreams that had brought them together and kept their passion for their work alive. As they reached a viewing platform overlooking the gardens, they stopped to enjoy the view. Below them, the diverse array of plant life from across the galaxy thrived under their care. "Look at what we've built," Michael said, his voice filled with pride and wonder. "It's beautiful," Zylina agreed, leaning her head on his shoulder. "And to think, it all started with an unexpected marriage proposal." Michael chuckled, remembering the day vividly. "He married the alien's ugly daughter and received an incredible inheritance," he quoted, the memory of Zorax's words bringing a sentimental smile to his face. "And together, they cultivated a garden of universal knowledge," Zylina added, the corners of her eyes crinkling with joy. As the suns began to set, casting a golden light over the gardens, Michael and Zylina remained on the platform, their hands intertwined, watching as the shadows grew long and the first stars of the evening appeared. Their shared journey, filled with challenges and triumphs, had not only enriched their lives, but had also made a lasting impact on their world and beyond. The gardens, a symbol of their love and dedication, stood as a vibrant testament to their life together under the vast, star-filled sky of Zylon.